mwaramutse ndabaramukije mwese kandi nkuko mwabyumvise kare ni presence nitwa Linda Kaneza ndi board member wa EABC haba mu mirimo ya misi yose nkora muri Savonor. So I have a few opening remarks that I would like to address, and they're going to be in English. So EABC, I say good morning to EABC member present here, EABC Secretariat, representative of manufacturing companies, representative of businesses, association, and organization, our expert facilitator. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, tugira amahoro. I welcome this 2 days business clinic on market access under the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, with a dedicated focus on leather, edible oil, and textile value chain. Let me begin by expressing our sincere appreciation to the East African Development Bank for its continued partnership with the East African Business Council under the project Accelerating Sustainable and Inclusive Industrialization in the East African Community. This project is funded through the Fund for African Private Sector Assistance, FAPA, as it is mentioned there. I also thank la Chambre fédérale de commerce et d'industrie du Burundi, AIB, l'Association des industriels du Burundi, l'Association des commerçants du Burundi, for supporting the organization of this workshop and for the government of the Republic of Burundi for continued support for regional integration. I commend to EABC Secretariat for organizing this business clinic, which builds directly on the market intelligence webinar that explored market opportunities available for the EAC value chains for textile, oil, and leather. The EAC Industrialization Strategy 2012-2032, which set the region a clear ambition, which is to raise local value-added content of resource-based export for an estimated 8.6% to 40% by 2032, and to grow intra-regional manufacturing export relative to total manufactured import from about now 5% to 25% over the same period. This means industrialization in the EAC must be anchored in real value chain, real markets, and real commercial deals. Trade statistics call for urgency in improving the business environment. In 2023, EAC partner states imported raw hides and skins worth $6 million USD while exporting 33 million. Meanwhile, global trade in finished leather grew from 57 billion in 2005 to 99 billion in 2024. Yet, the EAC captured less than 1% of global leather export and imported 49 million worth of leather goods. In 2023, apparel export stood at 165 million against imports of 338 million, while vegetable oils and fats recorded export of only 277 million compared to imports of 1.5 billion. Under the EAC industrialization strategy, the textile, leather, and edible oil value chains offer to the region a strong comparative advantage and are critical to driving export, industrialization, and job creation. In the textile sector, the EAC cotton, textile and apparel strategy estimates regional fabric demand at 2.75 million meters annually. So, meeting just half of this demand locally would require at least more than 90 additional weaving miles, a clear investment opportunity. The EAC midterm review of the latter strategy highlights the urgency of moving up the value chain. Global trade has shifted from raw materials to finished product, with finished leather export increasing to 75 million in 2007 to 99 million in 2024. While trade in raw hides and skins declined from 6.2 billion to 3.3 billion over the same period. Although the EAC accounts for 4% of the world's cattle and 6% of its small ruminants, we only capture less than 1% of global leather trade, and only a negligible share of finished leather export. Meanwhile, regional tannery operates just up to 20 to 40% of their capacities. And the region imports $15 worth of footwear for every $1 USD exported, even as footwear demand is projected to more than double by 2030. The leather sector continues to face low value addition, consistent quality and limited processing capacity despite the region's large livestock population. In edible oil, value leakage, weak farmer processors leakage, and limited process continue to constrain competitiveness. Across all three value chains, common challenges include skills shortage, that's why we are here, high production cost, inconsistent raw material supply, regulatory barrier that we will discuss today and tomorrow, limited access to finance, and weak local content incentive. According to ITC Export Potential Map, the East African region has export potential through the following market. For the leather, the markets are Uganda, the US, and Italy. Uganda has the largest gap, worth 17 million. 12% are unrealized. Vegetable oils and fat. Top potential markets are India, Uganda, and China. China has the largest gap, worth 63 million. Apparel and textile. Top potential markets are the US, South Africa, and France. South Africa has the largest gap, worth 298 million. So today we are here because we hope that this business clinic is designed to move beyond market intelligence into the practical mechanism of market access. Over the next 2 days, our expert facilitator will walk through the architecture of the AfCFTA agreement and its trade facilitation instrument, the tariff liberalization modalities of how to read and compare tariff schedule across markets, product standards and regulatory requirement for the free value chain, and the rule of origin that determine whether your product actually qualifies for AfCFTA preferences. We hope that the facilitator will hold on one advisory support on market access and practical step of exporting. The EABC, as an agent of the Africa Trade Gateway, will also support onboarding on your companies into the platform that will enable markets, buyers, matchmaking, and trade finance support. Distinguished participant, AfCFTA presents a market of over 1.3 billion consumers. But that opportunity will only translate into growth for our businesses if we understand where to compete, what to supply, and under what condition can we trade profitably. That is precisely the gap this business clinic is designed to close. I urge to all to share our export experience and deepen and diversify relationship to tape as a region into the AfCFTA. I therefore urge each of you to engage actively and bring your real trade documentation, challenges to the business clinic session, and think practically of how these tools apply to your own enterprise. The EABC under the project will also develop simplified guides on exporting textile, edible oil, and leather products under AfCFTA for the specific sector. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by appreciating again the African Development Bank for partnering with EABC under the project Accelerating Sustainable and Inclusive Industrialization in the East African Community for the increased prosperity of the people of East Africa. Thank you. Murakoze cyane, asante sana.